We're gonna open up the Water Sewer Commissioners meeting. It's 7:05 on September 11th, 2024. All right, we're gonna review and approve minutes of the meetings. Do
Yeah,
you have any?
I don't have the meeting minutes.
Do you have any?
7:03.
7:03, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we don't have any minutes.
No, because our admin is now gone and she was on vacation most of the time since the last one.
So we'll catch up with
So
that.
I'm not sure if she has any in her computer from the previous meeting, but I'm trying to sort through everything, so.
Well, with that said, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that Keith was the commissioner, and he's obviously know that he resigned, and he served the town well for
Quite a few years.
probably 15
Almost
years.
15,
Yeah. So I'd like to thank him for that, and also his wife. She was the admin for a great many years, 10 years
Yeah.
maybe,
12, I think.
10,
12.
12 years?
So I'd like to thank her for her time
Yeah,
on
for
that.
their service, it was very nice.
And I wish them well in their new adventures up in Maine, and
Yep.
hope they do well and successful.
Yeah, they're real nice people. We really enjoyed them. Known them for a long time. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good cohesive board for a long time now.
Yeah.
So, that being said, actually, I don't know if you want to go through I only have the sewer report. Steve did the water and then I misplaced it, so I will get you that in the next one for the next meeting. For the monthly sewer report, we had 3.26 inches of rain. Flow was 4,247,500 gallons for an average of 137,017 gallons per day. Synagro hauled off 129,800 gallons. We wasted 84,700 gallons, an average of 2,732 gallons a day. We used 857 gallons of alum, 0 gallons of sodium hydroxide, 283 kilowatt hours of electricity, and the river averages 7.474 cubic feet per second. And they're preparing for the fourth quarter toxicity testing and replace the burned out UV bulb and number 1 in reactor 2. So pretty straightforward. Any questions or anything on the sewer side?
No. We had that much rain, 3.26. I mean, at
Yeah, we had that, well,
beginning of the month.
in the beginning of the month, we got those like real quick torrential downpours
Yeah,
that
okay.
wreaked
Yeah,
some
that's
havoc
right,
around
yeah.
here. And then yeah, it's been pretty dry. And it looks like we're not going to get any rain for the next week or so.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It seemed like when we got the rain, it just came down in buckets.
Yeah.
It was short periods, but a lot of rain real quick. So
Yeah.
kind of tested out a bunch of drainage systems around here that the road pitches. So
How'd it work out?
we have a few issues in a few spots. We're
But-
working through that.
That's probably more on a project update. I think.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. We'll go
one of
with
that.
that.
And I can only talk so much. And I'll get into that when we get
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, as you said, we have a vacancy on the commission. Keith has left. So, as the procedures go, the remaining board members need to notify the Board of Selectmen within 30 days of receiving notice from the town clerk. So that puts us basically till tomorrow. This is the first meeting we've had, so so I'll just draft up a letter. I would assume you guys want to instruct me to.
They have to have that letter by tomorrow, you said?
Yeah.
Well, I think they have to have. They don't have to have it, but if we want to have a voice in a vote
Right.
for a replacement for, then we have to have that in by that time.
Right. So in order for the
Now,
way it's
for
supposed.
that, we have to meet with
It's a
the,
joint meeting with the selectmen.
with
I
the
understand
selectmen
it to be
to
a
appoint
joint
somebody.
meeting, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we want to have a vote to actually count, then we have to get that letter to them within 30 days. as I understand it, right?
Yep, so we need to, the remaining members need to notify the Board of Selectmen that there's a vacancy within 30 days, and then the Board of Selectmen have to appoint someone in,
In conjunction with us.
as a majority with you as members to vote within 7 days. So, once we get them the notice tomorrow, they've got a week to have a meeting and appoint someone. And from the
It's
way
up to
I,
them to set up the meeting.
yeah. So then it would have to be a joint meeting because you have a quorum, so we have to have a joint meeting.
So in the event that there was no candidate, what would happen? Did he say, did Matt say?
It says that someone needs to be appointed, that's all. So they need to appoint someone.
Okay.
And according to this, it says that they'll perform the duties of the office until the next annual meeting or until another is qualified. I'm not sure what that means, but
So to the next,
to
fill
the,
the vacancy till the remaining of the term. Not the year, not
for
the
the
term.
remaining of this term until
Term.
the next
The
election.
Election.
next election time.
And the election time, they'll fill out, it'll be a 2-year term.
Right, so there'll be a 2-year term on that, and then
Right.
the 3-year term on whoever's up.
Yes.
I think it's
Mhm.
Josie.
I think it's me. I think.
I thought you had 2 years left.
Do I really?
Don't ask me because I can't
I
remember.
thought, I'll check, but,
Like, can you make us a copy of that?
yep.
So we have a copy of that, I wanna review that. So do we need this, is there a formal motion need to be made, or do, just a consensus that we acknowledge that?
It just says that it has to be notified by the remaining members.
Okay,
Shall
so,
give written notice, so,
okay,
say if you guys just tell me to write something up, I'll
Sure.
get it to them.
okay.
Yeah.
Whatever needs to be done, then get that to them. There's 2 people that are, well, one has shown interest
Oh, really?
that
Good.
I know of, and then there's one other one that may be interested. I haven't talked to that individual, but,
Oh, good.
And I had another one that also came down, when I sent him information, and he turned around and said, well, I don't really have the time to be able to do that. So he backed out, so.
okay.
So I know of one other that came down here, I've got his name and number.
Yeah, I know which one. That one
Yeah, I
is,
had talked to you,
Yeah.
I'll let you know that one. So,
Yeah, so we got a couple people that you know that are interested.
that are potentially interested, yeah.
Yeah, potential,
Potential.
yeah.
And he did check in, so it sounds like he's legitimately interested.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So it wasn't like he just came down
Yeah,
once and just
yeah.
forgot, he had reached out again, so.
Okay.
All right, how about the
I can-
position for admin?
That I gotta get posted, I have a couple people that are potentially interested.
Mhm.
But I gotta do the posting and go through all that.
Do we wanna?
We should post that pretty soon.
Yeah, we wanna get that right,
Yeah.
get that right away. Do we still wanna do the same number of hours, or should we do it part-time? Do it 3 days a week?
I mean, with Munis and everything that goes on with that, I would say we probably still need to do the 30 hours.
Okay, so what's part-time's under 19, right?
Yeah,
So that'd be like 3 6-hour days.
for 19.
Well, in order to get under the 19, right? So it'd be,
It's actually under 20,
oh, it's under 20, okay.
so 19 we only shoot for, but.
So I guess we just gotta weigh up, is that extra day worth the full benefit package and that amount of hours? That goes
What
along
was the
with the
league
cost
working,
with
30
that.
hours?
Yeah.
You think well, I don't know. You think we should need 30 hours or?
I mean, there's a lot of work to do, so,
Hmm.
and then on top of that, with all the projects that we have going on, it just kinda adds more to it, but. You guys can think about it if you want. And let
It
me know.
almost seems necessary that we go 30 hours.
Hmm?
It seems necessary to go 30 hours.
If it's necessary, absolutely, yeah.
Because we got a lot more projects coming up too.
Yeah, and there's a few things that I didn't have Lee doing that I would probably add to someone new. just start them off in that.
Mhm.
A lot of the data entry stuff that I'm doing now that.
Now, if somebody that's gonna have to be interested knows about Munis.
Preferably they have Munis experience.
I mean, it's something we can train, I mean,
We can train Munis, but even like Lee was fairly fluent in it, and we still had someone come down and train her. That was,
not really.
I would say it was $3,000 that we spent on training.
I think if somebody's if they're in the financial software, they can catch on to that stuff pretty quick. Especially, I mean, the younger people today.
I know it.
I mean, they're like right on top of stuff. You know, quick learn.
If I need anything done with my phone or my computer, I call my grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter, she'll get on something, I'll be looking something up. She's like, oh, just call. There you are, one.
Yeah, I know, it isn't. It's
Yeah.
amazing, kids.
But they lived with them. They grew up with it, and they, started school with them, and it's a whole different world. So.
So since we're talking about positions, I have 2 people interested in the secondary water operator position.
Oh,
So I'm not sure how you want to do that. If you want to come in and do an interview again with those 2, or if you want me to have Josie come in, or
So we have. How was? Did Josh go get licensed for that?
he went to the class. He
Okay.
hasn't tested for the license yet.
So should we kind of just kick that back a notch and see if that? What's your thoughts on that? I think the primary one is to get the assistant chief operator.
Yeah, that's the one to fill.
That's.
I reached out and talked to one person about that one.
Mhm.
I talked back and forth a couple times. Then he was supposed to come in, and then he couldn't come in that day, and he just hasn't come in since. So.
Yeah. I guess my thought process is that if we could move Josh up to that category and still.
I don't think Josh is ready to move up to that category at this point.
Yeah. I mean, with training, obviously, that goes along with that.
Yeah.
And then it would be, I mean, you can still do the labor inside and, he can bounce.
Yeah.
Kind of utilize them throughout.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is if you lose your primary operator, Josh wouldn't be fully licensed, and he wouldn't be able to step into that position. So at that point, you might have to go to contract ops to get someone in until you fill the position.
Right. Well, we do have 2 other, we have you're fully licensed, and so is Adam, was listed
Yeah.
as an auditor. So we do have a
But I
covenant in the
don't
sense.
think you're gonna take your highway superintendent and pull him over to be the operator.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I think, I know Adam would gracefully lend
Oh,
a
he'd
hand.
certainly help out,
yeah.
If he needed.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not for a long period of time, but if he needed to help him.
Yeah.
So,
I know Adam's just as buried as I am, because I see
Yeah.
him in here on the weekends when I'm in here, so.
there's a lot going on.
now,
So,
I haven't met the kid Josh yet. How old is he? Is he still in school, is he out?
Oh, no, he's got a family, so.
it's probably
He's not young.
30-ish
He
maybe?
looks a lot younger.
Oh,
than
really?
he
Oh.
is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in his 30s. Yeah, he seems to be working out well. I don't know if you noticed the building here.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
good,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
So we're still
A long
gonna
time coming.
do the top part.
So is he willing to go to school and everything? And
He went to the class.
he went?
He seems willing to try to get the licenses and stuff. So he's in the process of studying right now to try to go get the tests. See how he makes out.
How long will it take him roughly? A year or?
Well, I mean, if he passes the test, he's got a license.
Oh, so,
So when is the test?
He has to schedule it. So
Okay.
they're not like set dates. It used to be twice a year, and those were the only times you went.
Mhm.
Now you can schedule it anytime.
oh, really?
Yeah, you go to like an H&R Block or something, and they have a computer. You go in and take the test right there. So,
Oh.
so
How many more classes is he have?
he's done the class.
Oh, he's all in the class?
he's all
done.
So he's gonna take that.
Just got to take the test.
Okay.
told them try to take it sooner rather than later when it's
Yeah.
fresh in your mind. so.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like I said, I do have two people that are interested
Yeah.
in the water. If you want to go through the process, and you can look at the two, make a decision out of the two, and then determine if you want to move forward with hiring or not. So,
In the meantime, maybe we can talk to Josh as well, see what his thought process is on where he'd like to, and that was part of the, when we hired him, and part of that was to try to get advancement and moving up through.
yeah.
So if he's interested, wants to move up, he wouldn't have to have,
Right, because he would get his license, he would have his water license, and it would be a matter of changing his,
do we need any other licenses, just the water?
Well, I make everybody get water and sewer. I said I make everyone get the water and the sewer, just so they can be in the on-call rotation.
Yeah.
'Cause in order to do the on-call, you got to do both. So.
we can get the ball rolling, and, I mean, nothing says that we have to move forward on it, we just get it rolling, and we can talk with.
Are we still having problems with salary?
No,
Or is it okay?
and
No.
the salary was all adjusted to the market rate, so
So we're up,
we should be in decent shape.
because that was a problem, it was all
Yeah,
those
you
back
couldn't
for
find
years.
anybody. I know some other towns that have jumped up even more than us, but
Oh,
it's just you can't find anyone right now. It's a matter of stealing them from somewhere
I
else.
just can't understand why more people don't want to get into it, I mean, it's getting to be a fairly good paying job.
Yeah. So did you said you reached out to that gentleman from, about the
Yep.
system chief?
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to him?
I talked to him on the phone.
Okay.
We had a phone conversation, then he was supposed to come out and meet,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna have one of you come in and we'll do a formal interview.
Yeah.
We set up a day and he called, so he couldn't make it that day. We just haven't set
Yeah.
another date, so. I won't reach back out to him and see.
I think that's a very important.
Yeah, I need to get that done.
Yeah.
And do you have a preference on who wants to come in to meet with any of those three?
Either you, Colin, myself, whatever.
All right. So I'll set something up for that, so we can meet with those two, and I'll try to get this one set up as well.
I think you can do, I mean, if we both wanted to sit in the meeting, it would obviously have to be, we could do an
We'd have to
executive
have-
session for the first round, but then
Right.
on the hiring, it has to be, you know.
Oh, so we don't have to post a meeting for that?
No, we have
No,
to
we have
post
to
it.
post it, but
We
it's
have
an
to be- we
executive
could-
session.
We could do an executive session.
So it doesn't have to be on camera.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if we want to do that. We have the option, we could post it.
Either that or either one of us will have,
Right.
so it's not a quorum.
My feeling is, there's only two of us at this point, but my feeling was it was always, should be at least two commissioners should agree on.
Mm-hmm.
on
Yeah.
so.
Alright. Project update, so CJP's portion of the project is done. So that one's finally over. The retarded portion, we're still having lingering issues that we're trying to work through. Had them out here today working on the electrical down at the pump station. We have some paving issues. I'm surprised people haven't called you, although they may have.
I haven't heard anything.
So
So,
the paving issues,
well, for one, all of Northeast Maine, when you do a reclaim project, you grind everything up, mix it in, you go down like a foot, and you mix all the dirt and the asphalt all together, and it gives you a good base.
Mm-hmm.
But when you grind it, you're gonna put 5.5 inches of asphalt back. So you need to take 5.5 inches of material out.
Yeah.
Well, they only took like maybe 13 truckloads out, which is not 5.5 inches across that stretch.
No.
So when they paved, the road is up 5.5 inches. It caused a lot of drainage issues, and I don't know if you guys noticed up at the top of Northeast Maine, the two houses, We had to have highway come in and we put in a leaching drain.
I did notice that.
So we put that in because, I mean, you can see the existing driveway and the new road was up here, so we had to blend way back into the driveways,
Ooh.
but the water issues, and it was making a big pond, because to get to a level spot with the driveway, they weren't higher. So everything was either gonna flow to their house, or we had to put in a little swale with a drainage. So we put that in up there. We had a few other drainage issues at the top of Northeast Main, next to Davis. One of the driveways, you know, all the water was going right into their yard. So we had to come back and pave into, you know, a good distance into their driveway to get it to blend right, because it was such a dip that the cars couldn't get in and out of the driveway without grinding underneath their car. There was supposed to be a crown on the road in the section between Davis Street and Charles Street. There's no pitch because they put the asphalt too thick, so it all flows to one side, which is probably the side that we don't want it to flow to. Would have been better if they pitched it the other way. So all the flow comes across into that yard. We had to do some farm work to take care of that, to try to avoid it going into that driveway in the house. There was a few other areas. I don't know if you've driven up there, but the driveway aprons had to go way in just to get them to blend.
Yeah, I did see that.
So it did cause some drainage issues. Then on Gilboa Street, when everything was designed and put in, the bridge, the design engineer, the civil engineer that worked on all that design, had it set up, there was a little bit of a swale in front of the bridge that went to catch basins. So anything coming off the bridge was going to go into the catch basins. Well, when they did the road work, they added 5 inches, you know, they milled off 2 inches, but then they put back 5 inches on that side. So now there's no crown and everything just flows across the street. So everything coming out of the bridge goes right across the street and floods out the mill parking lot.
I did get a call on that one. That one,
I was
yes.
gonna say, I'm very surprised you didn't
Yeah.
hear about that.
That one I did.
It goes into what parking lot?
The mill,
The mill?
yeah. Yeah, down where the Kennedy area is. We tried doing a little bit of reworking on some areas, but it's just, and when they were trying to lower the catch basin a little bit, because they thought that might be the issue, when they dug that out, because Pine ended up doing it, they did that work. When they cut it out, we realized there's 4.5 inches of asphalt just for the top coat. So that took out what was the little swale there, because you raised it by 2 inches. So that crown would have been there and it would have went to those catch basins, so. There's a
And who's gonna solve that problem?
it's out of our hands at this point. So we're letting some other people deal with that. Couple other issues with in the DOT section. There was supposed to be the hash marks where the on ramps and off ramps are. They didn't put those in when they restriped, so DOT won't sign off. There was some of the curbing, some of the stones got pulled out. They wanted those reset. So we actually, highway went down and took care of that section for us. And there's some areas that needed to be lumen seeded. So only a few open items on the DOT area, so we can get that signed off. There's only 1 or 2 things left to do over there. Well, the striping still needs to be done too. I think that's about it for those projects. The Gilboa Street Pump Station, LaFleur came in on Friday to work on that, to resolve one of the issues with the VFDs, and they left the pumps off all weekend.
Oh.
So the alarms didn't work, didn't call, nothing overflowed, but it completely filled up the reservoir. We figured that out Monday. So they came in today to go through everything and get things connected and working correctly. So I run through over there half the day trying to run through all the testing, make sure everything worked right.
Didn't do any damage or anything, did it?
No, nothing at this point. So I guess we're lucky that we made it
Yeah.
made it through with that. So I think that's about it for the projects that we had going on. North Street project, they went to Concom this week with the notice of intent, so we had that meeting. Got continued because we didn't have the DOT, the DEP number yet. Once we get the DEP number, I think they're all set with that. So they should be able to issue the order of conditions at the next meeting, so that'll be ready to go come October when we find out if we get the MassWorks grant.
What kind of issues are we having with conservation up there?
No issues, I think
Oh,
everything
no
went,
issues?
yeah,
Oh,
everything
okay.
went pretty smooth on that meeting. I think everybody saw that it's a major improvement on everything
Mhm.
up there. I think they were questioning the size of the discharge pipe, if it needed to be increased, but I don't think it was explained thoroughly at the Concom meeting that the part that they were looking at, they're like, oh, you're adding all this drainage down to this, but we're not really adding, we're increasing the size of the pipe just to going up the road a little bit and extending a little bit. I think it's up to Pond Street, I think, and currently it only goes to just down of Northwoods.
Yeah, just down from my driveway on the left, around the
Yeah,
corner.
that was the last, and we're gonna extend it up
Yeah.
that way further to catch up by Pond Street.
Yeah,
Because that's where the water was coming out there, and it would come down and go across the road, and then back across the road, and then back across the road.
Yeah.
So,
And this is them all.
yeah, it
We always
missed
have
all
trouble
the
in
catch
that
basins.
area.
Yeah, the whole road was a nightmare. I videotaped it a few times in some of those storms. So-
Is that road gonna be widened too, or just,
It's actually gonna be narrowed in some spots and widened in others, so it's gonna be a consistent, uniform
oh, okay.
width. Right now, it's wide in some spots, and then it gets narrow and wide. So it's gonna be consistent,
All the way up?
an even width all the way up, and it's gonna have a sidewalk with granite curbing. But the drainage, like I said, we weren't really increasing it a lot. It looked like a lot because there's 3 different sections, but they go to 3 different outfalls.
Oh, okay.
So it's not all tied in coming down to this point where they thought we might need to change the outfall. But the engineers ran all the calculations, and it should be fine. Yeah, so that project, like I said, we're basically awaiting the decision whether or not we get MassWorks next month. Not North Street, Depot Street, we put that up to bid this week for the material, so that's out to bid right now.
Now, what are you doing, you increasing the water main on Depot?
Yeah,
Putting
we're
a new one in?
replacing it with a new 12-inch main.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the numbers come back in on that,
For
engineering, for the project cost?
the
Total project?
engineering estimate was just over 2 million. So between 2.1 and 2.4, I think, somewhere around there.
And where were we at with the ARPA funds?
1.4.
So shortfall of about 600,000 or 800,000.
Between 600 and a million, but that's engineering estimate. So I'm hoping that going the method that we're going, where we're bidding the material out first, and the project out second, we'll get favorable bids again. If we get favorable bids, hopefully we'll be well under budget. So we shouldn't have too much liability in it. But that's pretty much the only area that we get water quality complaints. 'Cause anytime anybody does anything down here, it pulls down that road, and it stirs everything up, because that's the old cast iron pipe.
Because it's not looped around, that's one of the big problems.
It's not looped, and it's the old cast iron,
Yeah, right,
which,
yeah, I know.
if it's choked down and you get a rush, it just stirs it
Yeah,
up.
Yep.
not ductile, it's all cast.
It's all
iron on
cast,
that.
yeah.
Is that, we've had breaks up there, right? How does that, how does that pipe look?
No, I haven't had any breaks up there that could
No?
get inside
No.
it, but no, everything up there has been service leaks,
Okay,
so nothing that I've got inside the main.
yeah.
Um,
Now, you're gonna loop that over to Martin Road, is that,
That's the intent. We're
But
not
then
gonna-
we have a problem with the rail trail.
Well, it's
2-year permitting, I think.
yeah. They did a Article 97 or Chapter 87 or whatever it was. That their new process takes 2 years to get an easement down there. So we're gonna start that process, but we won't have it done in time for this project. So currently, this project's just gonna go up to the rail trail, but set up to be able to do that. And I'm not opposed to us installing that
Yeah,
at that point.
that's an easy shot.
It's not on the road, you have
Yeah.
no traffic, no police details, you can
Yeah.
just go right down.
Yeah.
We can take our time, do a little at a time.
Who would do it?
But if,
The
but if
town
I'm,
highway would?
either us or the highway, one or the other, or both, whatever.
Yeah, we're supposed to get a little mini excavator too, right?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Where's the occupancy? Is that no occupancy permit yet?
I heard there was a temporary occupancy issue, like very recently, so.
Okay.
I just need to talk to the procurement officer and everything to find out what it's actually tied to, so that we can move forward on that, because unfortunately, since the time that we made the agreement and now, the price on everything went up substantially. The valve exercise and trailer, I got another quote on that, it was up just over $20,000.
Oof.
I didn't get the price on the Mini yet. And I'm sure the generators went significantly higher, so we'll see where we stand with that. But I don't wanna go requesting quotes a million times, so I
I
wanna
know,
find
I
out
know.
when, because, you know, I can request it now and then think I get everything lined up, and then 2 months later, I go to, oh,
Yeah.
that quote's no good, you gotta give me a new one.
It's changed, right?
That's all tied into an occupancy permit.
Yep, so I'll find out about that hopefully this week, and then start moving on those as well. So the material's out to bid. We're on Concom for the NOI for that project for their next meeting, or will they have them every 2 weeks or once a month?
Concom?
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
sure
every
if it's
2 weeks.
every
isn't it?
2 weeks, I'm not sure.
I think.
I think it's October that we're on the books for that. So.
Or is it once a month?
Yeah, might be once a month.
Not sure.
I forgot.
So we should be on the agenda for them for October for the Depot Street, and we need to get that out to bid before the end of the year. So, so we will have to have an article on town meeting.
That's what I was getting at with the
Yeah.
the
So
funds if we need to do
right, I
that.
just want to. I'll get a place marker a placeholder in place, and then see if we can get closer to figuring out exactly how much we think we'll need for the. But
We paid for all the engineering already, right? That came out of our budget?
Yeah.
What was the total on that?
300.
300,000?
So it's not done yet, but that's what's budgeted for it.
Yeah.
That's what the contract's for. So then we need to determine if, you know, whatever it comes in at for the installation contract, whether we wanna take some out of retained earnings, or borrow, or portion of both. So,
We'll see what the numbers come back at and see what it is. I mean, if we have to, I guess I'm trying to think of if there was something else we could piggyback in on borrow, or tie it to, when we loop the other side around,
yeah,
you know, to complete the project, instead of doing a borrowing on that, and then if we have to borrow again,
well, I think for the loop around,
you know.
so my recommendation would be to borrow for this, and then we'll use retained earnings to do the loop,
Yeah.
because we should certainly be able to do that without borrowing.
Yeah.
That would be my preference, but
Okay. So just a
And we can look at doing a, you know, I'll talk to Gene about doing a short-term borrowing instead of a long-term borrowing, just to buy us time to figure out what we want to do.
Right.
You know, if we have another project that we can tie in and do a full borrowing, to have one borrowing instead of two.
Right, and I guess that what leads into would be a budget discussion, would be, there were a number of things that were on the asset management plan that need to,
Oh, yeah.
need to come into play, so I think a thoughtful, discussion needs to be had, an approach on if we're gonna do a borrowing to see what,
Yeah. And that's just the sewer asset management, we're in the middle of the water asset management, so.
yeah,
We'll see what comes out of that one as to what additional things we need to do on that side. So we can look at it from a, you know, a system-wide approach.
Mhm.
And try and come up with a timeline over a certain period to, what we wanna do.
mhm.
Davis Street, that's just kinda slowly moving along, the engineering on that, so, I don't see anything right now on the horizon for, you know, picking up speed on that project. So it's pretty much Depot and North Street. And if the MassWorks comes through, it'll be kind of those, both projects going on at the same time. So that'll be a busy schedule for this next year. North Street's probably a 2-year project, Depot Street will be a 3 or 4 month project. So,
2 or 3 year project for.
2-year
North Street?
project for North Street, yeah. When you're realigning the road, curving, sidewalk, drainage work, it's a big undertaking. That's, I think we're at like 13.5 million for that project up there, right now. So, it's a big project.
Oh, as far as Davis Street goes, is there a lot of commercial property up there that's for running the sewer and water up?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a significant amount of land up there. I don't know if you remember the number, but
Oh, acreage on the,
Yeah.
on the left side,
150 acres or something?
oh, more than that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a significant amount of land up there.
I think there was one landowner that had 100 acres, wasn't it? Or was that not all commercial, it might have been all, part of it might have been
Yeah, I think,
the older two,
I thought one was like 80 something. That was kinda in the middle up there.
yeah. Okay,
I don't know. All the numbers aren't sticking with me right now. I got enough of my own
Yeah,
projects.
yeah.
Bob has all those numbers. He could probably
Yeah.
tell you.
I know a lot of them, I can see all the parcels
I
on
know.
my, in
I
my
know.
head, but
I can
have to-
envision them, but I can't tell you how much
can tell you.
each one is in
Yeah.
size. So, yeah, that's about it for the project updates right now. Any future agenda items you guys wanna see?
Oh, I know at the last, I did watch, I told you, I watched the last meeting you guys had, and you were gonna draft a policy on.
Yeah, I didn't do the
Um,
irrigation.
For the
Irrigation.
irrigation, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to get that done.
Yep.
What other,
What are most towns doing with the irrigation? They putting a separate meter in?
I'm not sure, they all have it, so it can't be, you know, like I said, it's not a rocket science, but yeah, every town has, that I'm aware of around here has irrigation. I just haven't asked to find out the exact details of how that's done. I could find out in a couple towns, that I know people that are involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
The bills, all the billing go
Tomorrow.
out? Okay. I was gonna say, because I didn't get any bills, and I seen the abatement for the school on the bill, and I'm like, and maybe I thought about it the other day, I'm like,
Yeah.
and I remember we had the problem with the billing, so I wanted to make sure that didn't get, didn't slide, that didn't happen again.
Yep, no, we got the billing done. It's with Kelly and Ryan now, they're supposed to have it out tomorrow.
Okay. And Cheryl checks on all that too, so
Yep,
that.
Cheryl actually came down and we
Yeah.
went through it when we were doing the billing.
Okay, good.
She was here.
She reconciled with them to make sure that bit with the bills and accounts and,
Yeah, so we went through and checked some of those
yeah.
after the fact, because she saw what a headache it was doing the bill run, so. When they finally got through the bill run, it was just kinda like, oh, okay, we're done. And then they forgot to check some of the stuff they normally
Yeah,
check, so.
yeah.
And then I thought of it after she had left and had Lee go through and do some of the checks on the interest and
Mhm.
to make sure any credits carried over. So we checked all that and everything looked good, and then Cheryl checked it again on Monday, so. So everything seemed all right.
I can't for the life of me figure out why people would want Munis. I don't
Me
know,
either.
I don't know why, I mean, if it was user-friendly and everything, I don't know why communities,
It's
unless
hard.
but I'm not in that sector, so maybe there's a lot more to it than, I mean, that people like the system, I don't know.
I think it sounds like it's a great idea, because everything ties together, the general ledger, the assessors, the tax collector, water sewer, it all ties together and it all goes to the general ledger. So when you first look at it, it all sounds great until you go to use it.
Yeah. So
But
use it,
once you're
maybe.
in it, you're into it for so much money,
Right, you can't pull out.
it's hard to back out of it. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of paper that's used up in that.
Well, it's expensive transition, because we had to buy different printers, I mean, you try to print out one little report and you got a book,
yeah.
you know, on something that used to be one or
So-
two pages.
Munis
I
is,
know it,
Munis
yeah.
is based in Maine, that's where all the paper companies are, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Georgia Pacific is
They help,
probably,
they're
yeah.
helping each other out up there, huh?
So, okay, so,
Our irrigation policy,
yeah, irrigation policy, and then, was there anything else? I missed well, the last meeting was scheduled incorrectly, so we didn't have that one, but
Right.
the one prior to that, I had
yeah, you had missed.
I had missed because I didn't, actually, I think I forgot about that one, wasn't what I forgot about?
No, you had,
I went to the
You
other,
had
yeah,
something
I had a
happen.
plan, yes, that's right.
yeah, so it's been a little while.
Yeah, I
so-
went to that banquet for the
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce banquet, yeah.
All right, and I mean, the future agenda items, if you guys think of anything in between now and then, you know, shoot me a text or email or whatever,
Yeah.
and I can add it to the agenda, so.
One thing is just to keep on is actually to look at for the finances, so we get into budget season for that, for
Yeah.
the, projects. So we can keep we don't wanna get, with the asset management that was done, there was quite a bit of things that they recommended that should be done. So we need to,
Yeah,
you know, formulate.
some of
a
those are
good-
pipe dreams. so-
Yeah, they are, I read some of
Some of
those,
those.
yeah.
What was it, $8 million or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, probably the ones we need to do, and you know that we need to do, we have to address it.
Yep.
So I wanna make sure we can do it and then tie it with, if we need to do any borrowings, and then obviously talk with the bank, talk with Matt, go over, I think anytime we should have any big project like that, I think it's probably good to include the finance director and the executive administrator, because it could, you know, there could be other projects that come along.
Yeah, and I'd like to be able to, if we do some of the asset management things,
Yeah,
that's why this one, I'm thinking of a short-term borrowing to buy us enough time to link it to other potentially big projects that they're looking at in town.
yeah,
And if we do these, I mean, some of these, the smaller ones, I'd say we can try to do through the budget. And then some of the bigger ones, if we're gonna move forward with those, I'd like to tie them into, if we do a highway, the highway building and all that, if they're moving forward with that project, that's up there with the school project,
Mm.
you know what I mean, and that's when we
yeah, I don't know if we
lumped
wanna
in.
be tied to that, if the number keeps going the way I hear it is, I don't know if it's
Well,
gonna pass.
it's just the borrowing number that I'm looking
Yeah.
for, you know, when they're borrowing that kind of money, it gives us a more favorable
It
rate,
does,
so,
yeah, it does,
that's the only reason.
which I agree,
jump
that was
into
my
it.
thought process.
So, if I can do a short-term borrowing to get through, the Depot Street, and then, like I said, just we'll look at this stuff, and if there's anything that needs to be added in right now, I'll try to add that in with this.
So if you do a short-term borrowing and then possibly tie it to,
Convert it to a long-term.
refi it and tie it into the, we've done that before with the
Right.
other stuff, yeah. Okay.
So that's my thought. And we do have a couple projects that have been sitting out there that had borrowings to them, that we can roll that all into a big project, like when they did the water tank on Franklin Street.
Mm-hmm.
They had extra money in that, in the borrowing, so it's money that's just sitting there, we can't use it until it goes to a like project.
Oh, okay.
So we can roll that into some of these and just, it's not a lot of money,
Yeah.
but we wanna clean all that up, and it'll probably help Gene not have more
Yeah.
things to track.
Yeah,
So,
right, get it off the books. Maybe could use some of that for the additional money for Depot Street.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
we'll try to pull all that together
that,
and clear all that up in the project
Yeah.
all at once.
That's good. All right, if I can think of anything else, Bob, then you can just
Oh, yeah.
let them know. Sometimes I wake up early, 3 in the morning, and stuff light goes off, and I say, oh, we gotta talk about that.
Text it then.
Yeah. So.
Alright, you got anything else, Bob?
No, I'm all set.
I make a motion to adjourn at, what time do we got, 7:48?
So, 49.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.